Very good evening and welcome to the Tamandaya Hockey Stadium in Johor, Bahru. It is the third and final game on day one of the 11th edition of the Sultan of Johor Cup, and that will see Malaysia, the host nation, taking on New Zealand. Should be a cracker of a game as both these teams look to get off to a winning start as we turn our attention to the team lineup for Malaysia. Well, there's several players that were here. In fact, most of the players were here last year as they look to build to the World Cup that they will be hosting in Kuala Lumpur in December. They've had plenty of camps, and this will be a great chance for them to show what they're made of and throw a marker down for the World Cup. Certainly there's plenty of players to look out for, and we will introduce them to you during the tournament, I'm sure. Turning our attention to the team lineup for New Zealand. Again, here is a team that has had to crowdfund to get here, which is really sad state of affairs when you consider New Zealand, obviously one of the stronger nations in this part of the world. And so there will be a great interest to see how these young players can perform. Again, there's some talent there, and they're captained by Benjamin Culhane and coached by Aaron Ford. Our umpires for this match, we have from Germany, we have Ole Ingvarsson, and from Germany, and Shabazz Ali from Bangladesh. I'm Ashley Morrison, looking forward to sharing all of the action with you in this game. And once again, we would like to apologise to anybody that tuned into the Australia-Great Britain game. Unfortunately, somebody tripped over our cables and ripped them out, and that was why we lost our connection for the live stream. We have recorded the game, and it will be posted up to YouTube as soon as possible. But we do apologise for that, but there were unforeseen circumstances. But we're confident that everything will be okay for this match. Malaysia, as I say, the host nation, they've only won the tournament once. That was back in 2011. And they would really like to win it this time around and just send a warning to all those heading to Kuala Lumpur in December for the Junior World Cup. New Zealand, well, they have the best finish they've had was 2014 when they came fourth. Other than that, they've been in their 6 appearances, they've been 5th once and 6th on 4 occasions. So they would be really hoping to improve. Only 6 appearances for New Zealand, 10 obviously for Malaysia as the host nation. And these teams, I can tell you, in the World Cup, New Zealand are in Pool D, and they've got a really tough pool with Belgium, the Netherlands and Pakistan. And if you look at Pool A, which is the one that Malaysia are in, they have Argentina, Australia and Chile. So certainly it will make the World Cup interesting as the umpires lead us out along with the players. And as you can imagine, there's a lot more fans have turned up for the Malaysia game. Faris Harizan is wearing the captain's armband, leading his team out. Huge honour for him. Players will take their place along the halfway line. And once they're in position, we will have the national anthems of both nations. So the first national anthem, I believe, should be the national anthem from Malaysia. And now we will have the national anthem of New Zealand. The national anthems are completed. There is the Sultan of Johor Cup that these 8 teams are playing for over the next 10 days. Who will lift it in 2023? Certainly there's plenty of teams here that have won it. New Zealand are one of the few participating this time that have never won it. Pakistan and South Africa are the other 2 teams that have never won it. Otherwise, we have every team that has lifted that trophy participating in 2023. Australia, India, Germany, Malaysia, and Great Britain. Malaysia, so important they get off to a good, strong start. The country was a little bit demoralised by the performance of the senior team at the Asian Games when they didn't make the semi-finals, having played in the final 4 years earlier in Jakarta. And so this young group of players could really lift the spirits of the nation if they perform well here. And nothing would be better than to get off to a good win. And for the young men from New Zealand, well, again, nobody knows too much about them except that they are going to be a determined bunch. There is no doubt about that. And I must admit, when I was looking through the amount of players in their side that have captained junior sides or their school sides shows that there's obviously an immense amount of leadership amongst these players. And that is often the sign of a possibly great team. It'll just depend on whether they can put it all together. So it will be New Zealand to get us underway in their familiar black strip. Malaysia in red and white. Umpires just waiting for the signal from the technical bench that they can start the match. They've got the nod, and there goes the whistle. So New Zealand immediately play the ball back. Goes wide. Aidan Fraser will get it back again. Benjamin Culhane at the back, the captain. So Malaysia's ball from the side, taken quickly. Played infield, looking for the run there of Irfan. Lost out one back. It was a good tackle made by Faris Harazan. He's claiming should have had a free hit, not awarded, and diving to make sure that pass didn't make its where it was intended rather, was Norizam. Carried forward by Culhane. Fraser comes square this time to Luke Aldred. Just a slight mistrap by Culhane. Culhane self passes and plays a very good angle pass across the field. Managed to pick out Matthew Wilson, and now it comes back to Culhane again. Had to step off the field of play. Great pass across the field of play again from the captain. James Hickson was coming up on the right-hand side, but just couldn't quite get on the end of the pass. Well, this will be a real test for Culhane, because made his debut for the senior Black Sticks team on the 21st of April against Great Britain in the Pro League. Lost 2-5, and he's played 11 games now for the Black Sticks and is yet to win a game, which is not an auspicious start to your international career, but I'm sure he will be determined to lead this team to victory. Trying to keep that in play was Gus Nelson. Malaysia steal it. It goes, no, it doesn't go out of play. It somehow stayed in play. Back with Fraser again. Comes square to Aldred. Fraser once more. Malaysia just sitting off and thrown to the air. Brought down well. Malaysia struggling to get a touch at the moment, and 2.5 minutes gone. Aldred fighting back to try and get the ball. That's a good pass from Aldred. Lovely turn as well into the circle. It was a lovely turn and run. Sam Lintz was the man who made the break into the circle. The long corner taken quickly that time by Pat Ward. Just caught probably his teammate Culhane a little bit unawares. And again, they go to the air, and again, it's brought down well on the right-hand side. Culhane slides it down the side. Into the circle it goes. Good clearance by the keeper, Rafaisal. Well, Rafaisal had to be so alert then, and he did very well. Played in the Sultan of Johor Cup last year. Strong challenge coming in. Decision going against Malaysia's Mizron. Fraser again. Comes wide to Aldred. Culhane now. Culhane was looking to try and play it down that corridor into the circle, but Malaysia did well to close that down. Aldred again. Comes wide, and going to have to go back that time was Ryan Parr. Two Malaysian players there. Parr will pounce on the loose ball. Good stick skills from him. Took him away from trouble. Then goes back into the defensive line and feeds it to Culhane, who throws it high and long, but this time New Zealand don't bring it down. So Malaysia ringing the changes below us. 5 players off, 5 players on. They've taken the 16. Shafiq to his captain, Faris. It was actually Najmi, my apologies. Najmi on the ball again. 2 players wearing the headbands fooling me. He's just given it away now, Najmi. Great run into the circle after stealing possession. Here come New Zealand. Tor along the baseline, over the baseline, penalty corner, New Zealand. So first penalty corner of the match. It was a good intercept by Gus Nelson. Gus Nelson, the man from Waikato. Plays for the Marist Hockey Club, known as the Musketeers. And you know what they were all about? All for one and one for all. So first penalty corner, lining up at the first batch is Luke Aldred. Scott Coslet is at the second. Malaysian defenders finally getting in position behind the line. Comes out to the first batch. Oh, what a flick that is from Aldred. And Luke Aldred makes it 1-0 to New Zealand. 1 from 1. Wonderful flick by Aldred in just the 6th minute of this match. And not the start that the home side wanted. And I must admit, they're going to be celebrating in Waikato because that was Luke Aldred, former Hamilton Boys High School, flicking that one home. So Malaysia are going to have to come from behind. Harris Osman plays it back. This will be a test as to how they react. Thrown to the air, brought down well this time by Eswaran. Lost it though. Real determination by New Zealand and a really good run from Whittleston. Played wide. Malaysia should get that one back. Stolen away this time by Asmil. And it's been intercepted by New Zealand and into the circle they come. Free hit though goes the way of Malaysia. Well, Malaysia needn't panic yet, but they do need to just keep some possession and move the ball around. Close down. That was very good skills being shown that time by Ashraf Adam. Free hit to Malaysia. Squared, top of the circle, into the D it goes. Good cleaning up. Oh, it's a penalty stroke. Wow. Well done, Malaysia. I must admit I was watching the ball. So they've got the ideal opportunity really from their first attack. The ball was played in by Kamal Mugni. So a perfect chance for Malaysia to now come back, and taking the responsibility is the captain, Faris, the man from Penang. Started playing hockey at the age of 6. This could be a very, very important goal in terms of the tournament as it moves forward. He's got it. So Faris makes it 1-1. Malaysia back in the match in just the 7th minute. That is just what the home side needed. And Faris running off now to be replaced. Aldred playing the ball back into the defensive line, comes to Coslet now, feeding it forward into the path of Irwin. Malaysia come up with the ball, the whistle is gone, it's going to be a free hit. New Zealand throw it high to the other side of the pitch, brought down. That's a really good block coming in that time from Shafiq. And again, good defense by Malaysia. Just need to slow things down. Now the crowd shouting advice to the Malaysian players as well as the coaching staff. Well intercepted in the air, and it'll go out over the side though. Good jump coming from Ben Culhane. Oof. Lifted a little bit there, but no danger according to the officials. That was Jeffriness who played that ball. He was the youngest player in the Sultan of Johor Cup last year. Coslet helps it forward into the path of Aldred. Aldred just losing out. And then I thought that was off his foot, but I think it's been given as a ball from the side. So Malaysia again, patient from the back. Lovely show by Najmi. Oh, a little bit too strong that time, going in on Alfarico. Oh, it was almost a super pass into the edge of the circle. Just unfortunately couldn't be trapped. So 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Culhane again goes wide. Fraser, plenty of zip on that pass. And two players slip, but Malaysia have three coming back to cover. Work being done there by Najmi. So clearly New Zealand loving to use the overhead pass. Alfarico, good pass again from him. Good harrying there from New Zealand, and in particular Whittleston. Faris. That was a good touch, leading there, coming from Shamsul. New Zealand defend well inside the circle. This bench from, well, Alfarico stopped there because he felt that Ryan Parr had touched the ball as he fell to ground. Umpire said play on. Malaysia came up with the ball. And Faris this time, mistrap from him. So now Malaysia are on the back foot again with just over 3.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Both teams here, because there was a draw between India and Pakistan, who are also in this pool, a win today for one of these teams will put them in a really strong position. With those two teams, obviously, the teams that they will still have to play. Well, the penalty corner has gone against Malaysia. So New Zealand with a second penalty corner. I think the question was maybe the ball came up off the Malaysian stick just at the edge of the circle to create the danger inside the circle. Some may have argued, therefore, should the free hit have been outside the circle where it ricocheted up off the stick. But it is a penalty corner. And once again, New Zealand have Aldred at the first battery, and lining up alongside him, Scott Coslet. Aldred made no mistake with his first attempt, and I'm sure he will be the preferred option once again. Just stepping on his toes there, comes to Aldred again, he flicks, good save this time, Rafaisal. And Malaysia get the free out. And Rafaisal just stepped out saying, calm down guys. And just stretching, I think that caught him in the midriff. But Rafaizal was a star last year for Malaysia. Had some really good games for them. Oh, dear me. Another expensive and unnecessary turnover. Najmi, I think, just taking his eye off the ball. The ball played in from the side that time from Aldred. Back to Culhane. And now Fraser. Smashed towards the circle, but intercepted well by Malaysia. That was a lovely touch coming in that time from Ward to just take it away from Malaysia. Had he missed that, Malaysia were bursting forward. Ward again. This time just dropping the ball back into the defensive line. Culhane sends one through. It's ricocheted off the Malaysian stick, so it'll be a corner, a long corner. It's Mizron who got the touch, I think. And appeals for an obstruction just at the top of the circle. Free hit going the way of Whittleston. Made sure it went the 5 metres. Comes back again to Coslet. Uses the width well, cutting infield. Good run from Muggleston. Plays it to the baseline and lifted in the air. Malaysia defended that brilliantly. Wide it comes again, bursting forward for Malaysia. Infield they cut now. Good run coming from Danish Ayman. Free hit still with Malaysia. Thrown into the circle, jumping up was the New Zealand defender Wilson, making sure it never found its mark. And then turned over. Well, the hand in the back there, need to be careful of that. The New Zealand player, I think to be fair, he was just trying to stop himself bowling into the Malaysian player as he slowed down. But oh dear, that was not what was intended. Norizam getting way too much on that and playing it almost into the New Zealand bench. What a pass. Beautiful pass, and unfortunately the stick getting hooked. Well, it was a great pass from Jonty Elms picking out Daniel Tor. And so penalty corner number 3 for New Zealand. But it was just the vision shown by Jonty Elms. So 3 penalty corners in this first quarter. And it's right at the end of the quarter now. So can New Zealand reclaim the lead with just 15 seconds remaining on the clock? At the first battery this time is Coslet. They go to Coslet and he gets it low down past Rafaizal. New Zealand do indeed have the lead back. And Rafaizal hits the turf in frustration. Scott Coslet makes it 2-1 to New Zealand. So Malaysia once again have to come from behind. Well, there's just 10 seconds remaining, but the clock, we have to wait for it to wind down even though everyone's ready after the goal. Played wide again by Ashraf Adam. Good break forward this time from Daniel. But that is the end of the quarter. It's been a lively start, and Malaysia will be a little bit frustrated having conceded early. They fought their way back into the match, won a penalty stroke and levelled at 1-1. But then right at the end, in the 15th minute, another penalty corner conceded, and New Zealand said thank you very much. So at the first break, it's Malaysia 1, New Zealand 2. Well, the New Zealand players staying out on the pitch. Coaching staff coming to them, and they break up first for this start of the second quarter. And now the Malaysian players come jogging out. Rafazal, I believe, just stayed in his goal. So New Zealand get us back underway. Last appeared in the Sultan of Johor Cup 2019. It's been a while since we've seen New Zealand here. Well, there looked to be a push in the back on the New Zealand player there, but got away with it. And carried out a defence, played wide to Alfarico. Oh, the deflection. Well, I thought there was a foot there. Jeffriness was the man who broke out of defence, and now it's breaking out for Gus Nelson, plays it down the line for New Zealand. It was a lovely touch at the top of the circle. If it was stick, it was brilliant defending. Nice little jink that time coming from Irfan Sahami. And Malaysia get the free hit just outside the circle. Taken wide this time. Now into the circle they go. Turn coming. Danish Ayman wins the penalty corner. And New Zealand disagreeing with the decision, but there is no video referral here. So we have to play on, and they have to accept the decision that comes down. Sprinting on with the advice from the coaching staff is Suhami. Well, Malaysia really have so many choices. Lining up at the first battery is the captain, Faris Harizan. Can he pull his team back yet again? They go to the second battery. It's again a mistrap. Alfarico keeps it alive, plays it towards the goal. And it was clever what they were trying to do, which was to lift it. It's going to be a long corner. Malaysia trying to claim that that was deliberately played over the baseline. Umpire, though, very sharp to turn around and tell them, no, 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 no. What a pass that was, Ali. Didn't manage to get on the end of it, unfortunately for New Zealand, Sam Lintz, but it was a brilliant pass by Luke Aldred. Lintz made a really good break down the field. Alfarico wins the free hit this time. Didn't really get the pass he would have liked, I'm sure. This is promising from Malaysia. Great block, but its balls come back to them. Into the circle. Oh, deflected over the crossbar this time. And a back stick, they're saying as well, unfortunately, from Danish Ayman. Fraser. And he just got that in just the perfect spot. New Zealand into the circle again. But the deflection was so important from the defence from Malaysia. Patrick Ward over the ball. Goes square. Culhane. Space down the right-hand side, and Rafaisal's there. It's banged in. Well, oh, he's hurt himself, but a little bit of a limp, and then sprint back. That'll run the pain away. That was Patrick Ward who went in for the tennis smash. Comes from Dunedin. So being spoken to now is Shamir Shamsul. And a card issued to him to just calm things down. Jamir Shamsul is a player that you hear in Malaysia that he's a huge talent. He was selected in 2019 as a 17-year-old by, well, I'm not sure he was 17 actually, he scored 17 goals by Nur Saiful Zaini when he was the coach of the under-21s. But certainly is a player with a lot of talent. So too is this man, Al Fariko. And look at that, just trying to play the pass that was never on that time and has played his team into trouble. Released well, but just overrunning that on the far side was Hickson. Again, it was not a bad idea from Josh Irwin. Played on quickly again by New Zealand. So much space they seem to have at the moment. Again, it's a good turn by Nelson. This time, though, they go wide of the target. Good spell of pressure by New Zealand. Malaysia, though, riding it so far, not conceded. Still trailing 2-1. That was brought down brilliantly on this narrow side. Ahmad Suhami. Fariko concedes the free hit, played on quickly by Ward. Nice turn again coming from Irwin, back to Ward. Fraser. Jumping and bringing that down inside the circle and finding the foot. Oh no, it was actually free hit out. Daniel Tor, the player, penalised. Daniel Tor, one of the players I was talking about, was his first 11 captain at Otago Boys High. Jamie. Well, that will be Malaysia's ball. Just moving in behind was Irwin, as it was being brought down by Norizam. That's another free hit. Suhaimi doing well. Plays the ball short this time to Najmi. Najmi tried to find a way through, but the stick extended. Good defence again from New Zealand, and in particular Jonty Elms trying to keep that alive, sliding in. Did well, Tor, but Malaysia cleaned up at the back. Tor now keeping them in the corner. And it's turned over. New Zealand trying to find a way into the circle. Lovely mazy run coming from Whittleston. And then unfortunately lifted by New Zealand. And, well, unfortunate for them, fortunate for Malaysia because it's a free out for them. And taking too long with the free hit. So it's been turned over, and that's just silly. And a miscommunication there as Whittleston tried to play the ball where he thought the player was going, but deciding not to run into that space was Jonty Elms. So 7 minutes left in the first half. Malaysia still trailing 2-1. Free hit goes their way. Well, that looked again to be off the foot. Yeah, the whistle was late coming. Najmi doing well. And just misdirected again, but stolen top of the circle. Great pass, good tackle inside the D. Penalty corner given. Wow, I thought that was a very good tackle by Luke Aldred. And it's a back stick, so it must mean the initial block was good and then his stick must have come over the top and it caught the back stick, because Aldred, there was no complaints from him whatsoever. So Malaysia with their second penalty corner. First one, they didn't manage to trap, and as I said in one of the previous games, this end, talking to a lot of the coaches from the teams here, they're saying there have been difficulties trapping at the top of the circle, that they believe there's a little bit of a ridge just about a foot away from where the players trapping at the first battery are. So you just wonder why they don't try maybe a variation. Faris is at the first battery. They do trap it a little bit wider. It's gone in! Malaysia have got one back. And their captain has delivered again. So it is all tied up at 2 apiece. Faris, well, that time the trap was good and he showed what he's capable of. So Malaysia not going down without a fight. New Zealand, well, they're going into a huddle. There's 6.5 minutes left and they're just saying, look, we've taken the lead twice. We've let them back in twice. The next time, we're not going to do that. I'm sure it was something along those lines. Played wide by Parr. Aldred again. Well, he looked as if he was going to play it infield, then broke forward, and a collision between the two Malaysia players gave Aldred the chance to snap up the loose ball. Good pass forward, manages to pick out Hickson. Culhane is wide on the left-hand side. Culhane almost looked to give it a bit of a goose step there as he was going forward. Okay, we've got rid of the one ball, and now the player from the side comes in to take the free hit, which is Aldred. Finds Fraser. Actually, that was Coslet. My apologies, not Fraser. Aldred self-passes. A nice touch off the defender. Good work just to force them wide by Aquila. Faris. And he's getting plenty of support, the captain. Ward got a touch. Faris tries to cut infield and looks at the umpire. He thought he'd got a foot, and carrying on is Irwin. Irwin, it's actually Parr again. Parr now is upset with the umpire. He's coming back. Yeah, he looked like he had vengeance on his mind there. Again, good defence by Culhane. Tidies things up at the back for New Zealand. Lintz now. Desperate defending coming across. And it had to be from Jeffriness. It's another long corner to New Zealand. 4.5 minutes left in the first half. Matthew Wilson. Held up. Comes back to Coslet. Culhane. And again, Malaysia lucky it hit the foot and they get a free out. Otherwise they were looking a little bit exposed again down the right hand side. This time they've taken the free hit quickly, just playing it amongst the two defenders. Faris. That's a nice deflection. It was unfortunately not quite into the path of Shamir Shamsul. Just a little bit too far ahead of him, but it was a really good idea. Three minutes left in the first half. All tied up at 2 apiece. Surely it's not going to finish. Both teams in the pool finishing with draws on the opening game. That's Pool B. As I mentioned, it was Pakistan 3, India 3 in the opening game. Australia, the only team to have recorded a victory as yet. 3-0 over Great Britain. And then the opening game tomorrow will see Germany returning for the first time since 2012, taking on South Africa. Break forward again coming this time from Ward. Ward slips it wide to Backs. Backs into the circle. Looks to play it across. Good defence and nearly taking the kneecaps out of his own player. But Najmi just wanted to get it clear of the circle. Irwin goes back again, this time to Wilson. Fraser throws it high. Touch off the Malaysian stick. They're trying to get it out of the circle now. Penalty corner conceded. Jeffriness deemed to have been a little bit overzealous in his tackle. So New Zealand with their 4th penalty corner. And again, with just under 2 minutes left, well, they scored late in that first quarter to take the lead. Are they going to do it again now in the second quarter? Koslip was the man who converted the penalty corner that time. Jonty Elms is at the second battery, but Aldred, the man who swept home the first one, is lining up again at the first battery. They go to Aldred again. This time it was low but off target. And I think had it been on target, Rafaisal may well have covered it. Malaysia's broken really quickly. New Zealand getting back now. They're in the circle, gone back out. Good tackle. Still with Malaysia though. Ashraf. It's going to be a long corner. It's Ashraf Adam waiting for the ball. So he's taken it first time. Again, it was just first time, but not really looking where he was playing the ball and turned over. Bursting forward now is Hickson. Hickson cuts in on a line towards goal. Rafaisal has to clear it, and it goes out over the side by the corner flag. Otherwise, would have been a long corner pretty much in front of his goal. So I'm sure that Amin Rahim would be just wanting Malaysia to be more precise with their passing around the circle on attack. And couldn't bring that one down. It goes harmlessly out of play. Malaysia may want to take their time. A quick glance up at the scoreboard there by the captain Faris, and he sees that it's 20 seconds and counting down. Malaysia carry it forward. The substitutes come on, but in a very casual pace. And I don't think their plans at the moment to attack at all, unless he's thrown it forward now. And it's inside the circle. Chance for Malaysia. Across it goes. What a save. Well, that was, in my opinion, it was definitely a save. Luke Elms got his stick to that and deflected it wide. And that is the final play of the first half. And it's been a thriller. It really has. First, New Zealand took the lead, and the captain of Malaysia pulled them level. Then they took the lead again right at the end of the first quarter. And then once again, it was Malaysia's captain who stepped forward to get an equaliser for them, which means we go in at half-time. It is Malaysia 2, New Zealand 2. Welcome back to the Tamandaya Hockey Stadium. The second half of this match between the host nation Malaysia and New Zealand, not too far away. And I can tell you, Malaysia in the FIH's new rankings for junior teams are ranked 8th in the world as opposed to New Zealand's 13th. And these two teams, even though New Zealand have only played in 6 editions of the Sultan of Johor Cup, these two teams have actually played 9 times. And that's because they've 3 times played off for 5th and 6th position in the tournament. But I can tell you, in those 9 games, New Zealand have won 3, Malaysia have won 3, and they've drawn 3. So honours even. And if we look at goals scored, New Zealand have scored 24, Malaysia have scored 23. So there really is nothing to choose between these two teams, and the average goals per game is 5.2. So we're sitting at 4 on this game, and we're all on target to meet all those performance indicators that we've had in the past. But one feels that maybe, just maybe, one of these teams can conjure up a winner, and that will put them in such a strong position when they face India and Pakistan, because the top 2 teams in the pool will go through to the semi-finals. The way it works is the top team in Pool A will play the second place team in Pool B, and vice versa. And then the bottom 2 teams will do the same and play off. And then those games will be a day before we go into the semi-finals. So there's 3 games tomorrow, a day off. Then we have 2 lots of 3 games a day. And then we drop back to 2 games and then 2 days of 3 games. So Luke Elms is off as the goalkeeper for New Zealand. Replacing him is Hayden Ganley. Hayden Ganley, who comes from Whangarei and plays for Northland. No change, though, to the goalkeeper for Malaysia. Rafaisal returns to the bar at the other end of the pitch. And this half, it will be Malaysia to get us underway. Back to the captain, Faris, who's kept them alive in this game. His 2 goals have made all the difference. And just hope that the team, well, you just feel that they can just maybe not concede the next goal. Although I know New Zealand fans will feel very differently. But the host nation desperate for a win in the opening game. It would just suddenly give everybody a bit of hope that they could repeat the performance in 2011 where they lifted the Sultan of Johor Cup into the circuit. Goes great save by Ganley straight into the game, and Malaysia appealing for danger, but it was their own 2 players who were challenging for the high ball. Of course, the importance again about that performance in 2011, and Malaysia did well in 2012 as well, was that they did really well in the World Cup in 2013 and finished 4th. And so the impetus from this tournament translating into a performance at the World Cup, and with the World Cup being hosted by Malaysia in December, the nation really wants this team to do well. They're all behind them, there's no doubt about it. So New Zealand with a free hit now, just inside Malaysia's half. Thrown to the air, brought down defensively by Najmi. Again, the pass infield, though, not strong enough, and is never going to reach Alfarico. Lintz now for New Zealand, slips, but manages to get the pass in there. Jeffriness comes across and puts a bit of leather behind that one and puts it over the side. New Zealand first time, and again, Rafaisal, good clearance by him, keeping the ball on the deck, not conceding a penalty corner. Thrown to the air. Culhane, the captain, brings it down. Feeds it into the path of Ward. Patrick Ward driving through the middle, into the circle he goes. Ward still got possession to the baseline, looks to pull it back. Rafaisal comes out, it's going to be a goal. No, I think Well, has he given the goal? Yes, he has. And I think the goal scorer is, was it Sam Lintz? Well, Malaysia are arguing. Farizan is talking to the umpire. And the umpire, well, Farizan is saying he was shielding the ball. I couldn't tackle him. He was shielding the ball with his stick. Well, I don't think conferring with the other umpire is going to really help, because I don't think he would have had a view of that. Well, we're just waiting to see. It's actually Hickson who's been awarded the goal, and play will continue. So New Zealand take the lead again for the third time in this match. Hickson converting after really good work by Patrick Ward. And there's only 3 minutes gone in the second half. So Malaysia have to come back once again. James Hickson, who has also played for the New Zealand Māori. So Faris a little bit frustrated. Jeffriness. Malaysia keep possession. That was good play that time, coming from Shamsul. Faris throws it into the sky, and it was just too easy for New Zealand to bring that one down. Coslet, though, I think just losing out, although, whoa, Malaysia were living dangerously then. Now there's a little bit of space. Great one too. And a penalty corner one. That was really good work that time by Osman Haris. And they've won their third penalty corner, Malaysia, and another opportunity for them to close the gap once again. I think I said it was Coslet brought that down. I think it might well have been Ward actually that brought the aerial pass down and set off on the attack. So Jeffriness lines up at the second battery. Faris Harazan once again is at the first battery, trying to pull his team level. The clock has counted down, the whistle has gone. Out it comes, it's a good trap. Faris denied, a really good save coming from Ganley. And a good block covering to stop New Zealand clearing the ball. Ganley has been thrown straight in the deep end since coming on. Two important saves, good little play from Matthew Wilson. And I think that was aimed for Jonty Elms, but Elms was just on his heels down the side as the ball went whistling past him. Goes into Norizam. Look at the pincer movement to close him down from New Zealand. Malaysia into the circle again, across the face of goal. There was nobody there. Well, there was actually. It was Shamsul was there, but he was upright. He needed to be low down. It was a fantastic ball across the face of goal. Danish Ayman, there was plenty of pace on it. All you needed was a stick to deflect it, and it was a goal. Coslet, oh, through the legs. Picked up brilliantly again by Hickson. Backs across, great save, Faisal. Well, it was actually Nelson, not backs, my apologies. And Malaysia look as if they've turned it over again. Jonty Elms collecting in the midfield. Hickson cuts infield. Hickson goes through two, takes a tumble. Has won a free hit though. New Zealand transfer to the left-hand side. Oh, lovely little show and go. Long corner, directly opposite where it crossed the baseline. Koslet over the ball. Self pass, fed it straight into the middle, running into the circle again, looking for the penalty corner. Patrick Ward, well, he's full of running. Oh, turned over cheaply by Malaysia. You could hear the groans. Here's Backs now, looking to feed it out to his captain, Culhane. Patrick Ward, as I mentioned, hails from Dunedin. And it's an incredible stat that for 10 years there's been one of the Ward family playing for Otago. Because he has two brothers, Jordan and Finn. And then obviously now Patrick is the youngest, and all three of them have played for Otago, which is pretty phenomenal as a family, and I'm sure the boys' parents must be immensely proud. Brought down by Nelson. Nelson turns and goes off, almost a bit Bambi-esque, and he falls just like Bambi. But he gets a penalty corner as his reward. Gus Nelson, good running by him. New Zealand have a fifth penalty corner. And this is real danger now for Malaysia, because if they score, they will suddenly take a 2-goal cushion. And climbing back from 2 goals down is very different as opposed to 1. Koslet lines up. Aldred is at the first battery. Koslet at the second. They go to Aldred. He flicks low. Good save, Rafaisal. And it came back, but he put it over the bar, Josh Irwin. Although it took a touch off the Malaysian defender's stick, so it's a long corner. They're calling for a ball, and eventually one arrives. And I think we got 2, yep. Taken quickly. Again, trying to get inside the circle. It was a good turn, but it was also a very good steal by Malaysia. And that's a good pass too. Great chance now, Alfarico. Alfarico tried to just dink it in line inside, but Aldred was back, covered it, and stopped the ball getting through. Alfarico again in the corner now, trying to create something for Malaysia. They would love to go into the final quarter on level terms. New Zealand, on the other hand, will certainly want to make sure they don't. Jeffriness, that looked as if it went straight into the foot. Play on is the advantage has been called by the umpire, and a penalty corner for Malaysia. So between them, the umpires with a really good advantage call. Jeffriness complaining about it, but you have to say the end result was the right one. So a good advantage played by the umpire. And that was Shahbaz Ali from Bangladesh. I got to say, he saw the foot, saw where it was ricocheting to, and said play on. But he had his arm raised so that if there was no advantage, he would have come back for it. To me, that's good umpiring. So now it is a penalty corner. Jeffriness is at the first battery. I think it's Shaimi. It's deflected. Oh, came out to the injector, but he missed it. And we're changing the goalkeepers now for Malaysia. That's a strange time to be changing it with 6 minutes left in the third quarter, and there must be a reason for it. So Danish Afnan comes on. Just 19 years of age. Played out again to Patrick Ward. Goes back into the defensive line. Malaysia were hoping the pass was going to be made and they could intercept, but New Zealand wise to the effect and didn't play the pass and managed to go on the counter-attack. Suddenly Malaysia, though, getting a little bit more space in the midfield, it appears. Jeffriness pushing it forward and going to have to work to get on that is Shaimi. It will be a long corner, just pushed over the baseline that time by Hickson. Once again, we wait for a ball. Jeffriness stands over the ball for Malaysia. Still 5 minutes left in this third quarter. And just misdirected, smashed straight to the New Zealand player by Najmi. Najmi needs to get back. And he does get back. Adam now calms things down for Malaysia. Jeffriness. Well, the shin guard has come flying off for Gus Nelson, and I think it's broken because he's just thrown it over the side, and now he's been told he has to go off and get it fixed because the rules say you must have shin pads on when you're playing. Oh dear, that did not go as intended. And again, it was Najmi who is letting it get to him. You can just see his body language. He's put his hand up to his eyes. He's shaking his head behind play. He's dropped his shoulders. Has to put that behind him. And now concentrate and bring this one down. He's done that. He's going to get closed down. He was lucky that the player was deemed to have come in the 5 meters before he brought it down. I think that was a little bit favourable to Malaysia, because to me, I thought he had the ball under control when the New Zealand player came in to close him down. So again, the player having to move into the space where the aerial pass was thrown, so therefore the decision goes the defender's way. That's really good play by Culhane. Oh. So Malaysia harrying wherever they can now, just to try and force a mistake from New Zealand. Jeffriness first times it down the line. Malaysia keep possession, but there's a wall of black shirts that are finding a way to just push Danish Ayman towards the sideline. Comes back to Faris. And again, looking to close down. That was good play into the circle and deflected off Culhane's stick. Long corner. So long corner. Adam over the ball. Played it towards the circle. Great defence again from Aidan Fraser. Malaysia trying to get the ball in. There's plenty of support for them. They've won another free hit just outside the circle. Must go the 5 meters before it can go in. They play it outside the 23. Comes square to Faris. He's going to be closed down, but he accelerates away. Took a deflection off the black stick and free hit just outside. Faris again. Good stick work into the foot. Clever play by him. Whittleston might not feel it was quite so good. And that's deflected up, but not dangerous according to the umpires. Push towards goal. Brilliant save again by Ganley. And Ganley gets a slap on the helmet that time from Muggleston. 1 minute to go in this quarter. Malaysia pressing for an equaliser before the final break. Into the circle it goes. Defence is good from, well, no, it's another free hit outside the D for Malaysia. Faris will bring that down. Well, he's got the decision that time. He didn't have it under control. I think just coming in just a fraction too early that time was Jonty Elms. And Faris trying to steal it. Good 6 meters, I reckon. Brought down inside the circle. Great chance. Ganley again, though, is there. They want the ball. They're calling for the ball. 15 seconds. It's just not come on quick enough. They're going to have to move this really rapidly. And New Zealand come up with the ball and they just play it forward. And they won't get a chance to attack. Faris plays it forward over halfway, but the siren's about to go. And there it is. So just as they did at the end of the first quarter, New Zealand head into the final quarter with the lead. It is Malaysia 2, New Zealand 3. Both teams breaking up now from their final instructions from their coaches, heading out for the final 15 minutes. And as I said, these two average 5 goals a game in the Sultan of Johor Cup, and they've kept to that script. I can tell you the last game was 6-0 to New Zealand in 2019, 6-3 to Malaysia in 2018. That was in the playoff for 5th and 6th, and 5-all was the score in the pool game. Well, we're 2-3 to New Zealand at the moment with 15 minutes to go, and you wouldn't bet on there not being more goals. Malaysia desperate to get back, again looking to try and get it inside the circle. New Zealand are going to have to defend valiantly, and of course, as Malaysia push forward trying to find an equaliser or even a winner, New Zealand will find more space going forward. Irwin. And we've got a Malaysian player down. And I think it's just cramp. Well, I say just cramp. Cramp can be incredibly painful, but just the same, it is not a serious injury by the looks of things. But I think it's Faris who's down. So that is a big blow, and he will have to leave the field of play because the physio has come on. Well, Faris has certainly got through a lot of work in this game. And the stretcher is coming on, which is very sad to see. So obviously this is a lot worse than maybe initially we thought. Well, this will be a blow for Malaysia because he is such a leader on the field. They're taking him off the shortest route. And the crowd giving him generous applause, as they should, but I think they're just going to try and treat him on the side there. So Jeffriness comes back on. It's not Faris, actually. Faris is over the ball now, so not quite sure who it is, but we will try and let you know as soon as we can. And I think they're just saying that the player cannot be lying on the side of the pitch because, again, that would create a bit of danger for their health. So now they're going to have to carry him behind the advertising hoardings. Plus that it's not Faris, but sad news for Malaysia. They're a player down now. Jeffriness might have been nudged me, but it didn't see the headband that he was wearing. Well, that looked to me as if there was a foul there, but the advantage again must have been played. Malaysia still have the ball inside the circle. Good clearance, though, coming that time from Irwin. And now New Zealand had the chance to attack. Jeffriness. Well, a yellow card. Listen to that. The crowd appreciate that. It was a strong challenge from Ben Culhane. And then he had a few words to say when it went against him. So he's got 5 on the side. And Malaysia now have a player advantage for the next 5 minutes. The big question is, can they make it count? We saw India had a 2-player advantage and they made it count. And penalised that time was Adam, and he looked a little disappointed. He felt the free hit should have gone his way. And again, we get 2 balls thrown on the pitch. Oh, Alfarico has stolen that. Well, was there a foul there? And it was a pretty soft shot. Recovered, though, by Adam. Saved by Ganley was good, but Alfarico didn't really get any pace on the shot. Appeals for the foot, and it did catch the foot that time of Danish Ayman. So 2 really good opportunities for Malaysia. Played back into the defensive line, coming wide now to Wilson. Wilson, not a lot of room to work in there. And he gets a free hit, but he's got to stop the ball before he can play on. And it's been good to see the umpires actually pulling that up here, making sure that the players do stop the ball. Well, it's not Najmi that was injured because he's back out there. Player who was injured is coming around the side. And it's a free hit, and the Malaysian player goes down again. And Faris again is talking to the, well, it's actually not Faris, I thought it was, saying surely that's a penalty corner. The crowd certainly believe it should be. I have to say, I thought it was more clumsy. But a blow on the hand, not good. I can tell you the player that was injured is up and walking now with the physio around the side of the pitch. The umpires are conferring now as to whether it should be a penalty corner or whether it was in fact. And it is a penalty corner. Well, that is, again, in my opinion, good umpiring. The 2 of them conferring, making sure that they get what they believe is the right decision. So penalty corner again for Malaysia. This is penalty corner number 5. And if ever they needed a goal, it's now. I can tell you the player that was injured. Well, it was Faris that was injured. So it must have taken the armband off and given it to someone else. So Faris Harazan is the player that's limped off, and it looks like it was actually the back of his leg, which is a worry. Out it comes. It's a good trap and a good block, but into the feet. Alfarico goes flying under the challenge from Parr, and Parr is going to get a card. Pa shaking his head as he makes his way off the field of play. Picked on the smallest guy on the pitch. So Malaysia trying to get behind their team. Shaimi at the first battery. Sahimi at the second. Malaysia need a goal badly. It's wide of the mark. Good trap, good flick, but not on target. And New Zealand will take their time. They're 2 players down at the moment. And that caught the foot coming back, so there's an advantage and a push in the back again. Well, now it's deemed that the Malaysian player, I think, fell a little bit easily. And we saw India in this situation pull their goalkeeper and get an extra player out on the field of play, and they managed to get an equaliser when they were 2-1 down. Good play, cutting infield again, this time from Tor. Malaysia not opting to do the same as India, as Wilson has a little bit of space down the right-hand side. Forced to go backwards. Infield he goes. Managed to get the pass away. The shot in the end didn't have the power from Whittleston. Malaysia have it back. The coach urging them to come forward. Alfariko. He can create moments of magic. Oh dear, dear, dear. Just too much pace on that pass from Shamsul. Again, just thrown long by Malaysia. With the captain's armband now is Hamzil Mazuddin Mizran. Malaysia moving the ball well. Trying to get inside the circle. Good tackle coming in by Wilson. The long corner taken quickly. Jeffriness comes out wide again. Into the circle it goes. Penalty corner. New Zealand concede again. Penalty corner number 7 for Malaysia. Is this their moment? We're into the final 10 minutes. 9.5 remaining. Still plenty of time left in this match. And I'm sure if India and Pakistan are watching, they'll be going, yes, please make it a 3-3 draw. Because suddenly then their pool is wide open still with 1 game down. And they have both these countries to play. So once again, Shami at the first battery. It's off the kicker, I think. Well, it's a free out anyway to New Zealand. So another chance goes begging. Wilson in acres of space, and Malaysia have the number advantage. Almost a really good pass as well to pick out Aiden Bax. Just wonder if Malaysia are just trying to rush things a little bit and not realizing they've got plenty of time left. Taking it the 5 meters now, hoping to get inside the circle. Do. Well, the crowd thought that was a stick check, but in New Zealand came up with the ball, and then there's an obstruction from the Malaysian player. Lintz was the player penalised. It's with Jeffriness now. Comes wide again. Suhaimi played it forward down the line. Won't come back to him as Lintz deflects it over the side. Suhaimi. Good pass infield. Good run. Just slipping the pass that time was Adam. New Zealand desperate to get out of the way. Well, well, they were jumping out the way and ricocheting off all sorts of people. And again, the fans wanting a penalty corner. Have to say that the referee was ideally placed. Ole Ingvarsson. And that was just played straight into the stick of Sam Lintz. Lintz slips the pass. It's a good run forward from Gus Nelson. Nelson collects. Malaysia's got another player down. Across the goal it goes. Missed by 2 New Zealand players. Well, this time it looks to me as if it's Asmil Malzuden Mizron who is down. It is indeed, and the umpire just saying, time to get up. If you're injured, go off. He's handing the captain's armband over now as well. So Norizam will take it. Well, this is a concern. Malaysian players going down with cramp. And now the armband has actually been thrown to another player. And it's Danish Iman who will put it on. Jeffriness throws it long. The bounce is a good one for New Zealand. Fed into Parr. Parr, oh, it was almost an exquisite pass for Nelson. But it just kicked off the turf as he was turning, which made it very difficult for him to get it under control. Jeffriness again. Just over 6 minutes left for Malaysia to try and find an equaliser. Can New Zealand hang on? New Zealand not played in this tournament since 2019. Malaysia into the circle they go again. Forced out, tried to square it at the top. Desperate defending from New Zealand. Good turn that time coming from Norizam. Wins the free hit. The crowd giving all sorts of advice to the players. Must have been about 5 or 6 people shouting different suggestions and letting it run over the side. Amin Rahim down there, the coach of Malaysia. I'm sure he wishes he was back out there himself. He was a top scorer at the 2011 Asian Champions Trophy, the coach of Malaysia, so knew how to score a goal or two, and they could do with a goal now. It's thrown to the air, that's too long. Alfarico, you could see what he was trying to do. 5 minutes left. Great intercept by Malaysia. Superb play that time by Adam. But the ball into the circle. Well, it's going to be a free hit outside. Got another Malaysian player rubbing his knee. They're going down like flies at the moment. That's a foot just on the edge of the circle. Every New Zealand player was back inside the 23. Alfarico needs to weave a bit of magic. Managed to play it into the foot that time of Nelson. And it's a yellow card issued to Nelson now. So they're going to finish with 10 players. It's ricocheted kindly, and it's another free hit to Malaysia just outside the circle. Slap of the thigh that time from Jonty Elms. Needs to go the 5 meters, played back to Alfarico again. He uses the width and plays it wide, but it's a mistrap. Oh, my word. Of all the times to mistrap Suhaimi. And New Zealand have got a man forward. was a really good run coming from Lintz. Went in behind the defence. He's lost out now, though, as Najmi has the ball in the corner. Plays it infield, and eventually it goes off the stick of Jonty Elms for a 16 for Malaysia. 3.5 minutes remain. And again, umpire cleverly stopping the clock because we didn't have a ball. And I must admit, the ball situation today has been a little bit frustrating for the players. Either we've had 2 balls or no balls. Good ball forward again. Elms has to double back. Elms still has possession for New Zealand. Looks to play it into the midfield. Culhane doubles back, closed down, surrounded by 3 players for Malaysia, but he got the decision and the free hit. Will take his time. A little flick. It goes off the Malaysian stick. They haven't brought it under control. It's another miss at the back from Najmi. Breaks inside the circle. Malaysia desperate as ever, as you'd expect them to be. Jeffriness, bit of space. The ball was stolen away from Ward at the top of the circle. Lovely slide and back to his feet. Well, Malaysia's body language giving themselves away there. Thrown high and wide that time by Culhane. That's a good pass too. Oh, lovely stick skills that time from Tor. Tor into the circle. Brilliant save. Malaysia need to clear, and they do. Well, doing really well off his line that time was Danish Afnan. Well, again, frustrated that the ball boy threw, or ball person threw the ball on the field when it needed to be from the side, and that wasted valuable seconds for Malaysia. Players getting very annoyed about it. And that's a missed pass, but somehow it manages to find Muggleston. Infield he comes to Parr. Parr put under pressure, but it goes back to the defensive line. Comes wide now to Wilson. Once again, retrieved well by Bax. Bax takes it into the corner. Free hit to New Zealand. Bax advances. Bax goes through the gap, shoots, saved by the keeper. Rebound comes back, and it just caught the foot. So Malaysia survive again, but we're into the final minute. They need to get this forward. That's a bad pass out of defence. Did not find the player. The player goes down. And the umpires, I think, are going to stop the... Well, they're probably not. They're saying play on. And New Zealand will play it in. They've got 30 seconds to survive. Parr plays it back on the outside. Malaysia... Well, you'd have to say they squandered some great opportunities and also squandered possession on a few occasions. Just keeping possession now, New Zealand. Take it into the corner to run down the clock. Jonty Elms penalised, but 6 seconds up on the scoreboard. It's not going to be enough. Malaysia cough up possession again. And there is the hooter. Well, they managed to fight back twice, but a third time was just too much in the end. New Zealand, well, they battled hard as well, and will know that this was a well-fought victory. Took the lead in the 6th minute. Faris pulled it back for Malaysia. Kosalet then gave New Zealand the lead again in the 15th before Faris equalised before half-time. It was 2-2 then, and then Hickson scored a field goal for New Zealand after good work by Patrick Ward. And that was the crucial goal in the match. The final score, Malaysia 2, New Zealand 3.